I'm Mike D'Angelo. I'm the director of Technocopia, also a maker myself. Passion is cars, motorcycles, kitties, making stuff. I like making things. It's not often I get a chance to these days, but for the most part, it's automotive improvements, performance modifications. That's usually what I go for. I don't know. I'm a bit of a DIY guy. I didn't grow up around tools, not until I was in my teens. So, for the most part, I spent a lot of time reading. Forums were big at that point. I guess today it would be YouTube. But, you know, I was a research first before I jump kind of person. I didn't have the finances to make mistakes on material or my own vehicle. So I did a lot of research, did a lot of reading. Beyond that, just kind of jumping into things from there. Like once you have some guides or some idea of what you want to do, just start, poking and see where your boundaries are. Oh, everybody can be a maker. Anybody. For the most part, anybody who's got the drive to learn, to even flex their creative muscle. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I would say tradesmen can be makers, like hobbyists can be makers. People first time out can be a maker. We did a print month the other day where it was people who've never done like woodblock printing, they or carving, um, finding different ways to just put their own emphasis on something, their own mark on something. That's a maker to me. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I don't think the medium changes anything. I don't think the actual how should I put it, the means of creating makes a real difference. It's just the fact that you're doing something, that you're out there creating. That said, I think there's plenty of people that don't feel that they're artistic that are fantastic makers. Look at the industrial or the minimalistic designs that many people have that aren't necessarily artistic and flashy and colorful, but they're makers. It's a strange buzzword though, the word maker. I think I think at the end of the day we all have a drive to create, to make something in one way or the other. And yeah, sure, for right now maker is the word that's stuck, but you know, I think there's a lot of people out there who don't consider themselves makers who would very well fall under the umbrella. We have a great program right now called the Happy Hacker Society, and it's kind of a roundtable discussion on internet security and technology and the hurdles that technology have presented society. I think that has a forum in any maker space. We've done consumer chemistry class, in which case it's talking about many different things, like from the effects of narcotics and what it does on the human body, as well as the social impact, to tobacco, alcohol, and just the life science aspects of what it does to the human body and society around it. We've had Lauren, who's runs our education, and is the co-director here. But then she'll have like an industry expert, whether that's for the narcotics. We had the police and the uh, the narcotics division came in with samples and talked about stuff. Same with for coffee, for the caffeine chemistry one. We had a local brewer and roaster of coffee beans come in. I think that those have a place in a makerspace. One thing that I think of with makerspaces is that it's a community hub the same way as any community center was in our parents' generation, or our grandparents for that matter. And instead of playing bingo or hearing like the local news, it's still a community. It's a community making things, whether that's its own neighborhood or its surrounding area. I mean, there's you know group social justice groups work out of here, creating signs and things for the next marches, whether that be the science of the women's march or something a little more close to home, like the not too long ago there was obviously a lot of pushback on immigrants. Um, those places have a home here just as much as anything else. Yeah, I would say that for me, there's a lot of difficulties with running makerspaces. I think for not only community engagement, I would love to see other people's practices on not only community engagement, growing membership, and just creating a more sustainable model for makerspaces. It seems every makerspace I've ever talked to is high burnout rate, a lot of sweat equity, and it's a very at times feeling unsustainable. So I would like to see how other people do it. Why? Why people are makers? I think that would be a good question. Why is somebody driven to do the things that they do? What's their personal motivation? Like, yeah, I would say that would be probably a really good question to ask. For me, I like the social aspect, but for the most part, it's I need a place to do the things I want to do, to create and to grow by being around others. Like, left up to my own devices, yes, I could still do cars or motorcycles. I could still do the things that I enjoy to do. It wouldn't be as cost effective, and I wouldn't have the community around me. And I think those two aspects would really slow down my progress. That said, I've obviously bitten off a lot of responsibility here, but it's something I enjoy. I think I might enjoy helping create this space more than I ever did making things. So, giving other people the opportunity to, by giving back in a way by giving the opportunity for other people to do this, to do what they want to do and be creative. So